So hello and welcome to a brand new stream from the Tauntaun Squadron based in Ireland, and we have been delighted to be accepted to be one of the streaming partners on YouTube for the amazing new XTC 2021 Star Wars X-Wing Team Championships. This is a brand new thing that has expanded from the ETC, and today I am delighted to be able to show the first pairings of round one for Team Ireland. Tauntaun Squadron, based in Ireland, will try and stream as many live games as possible in the group stages. There are 38 teams. We are in Group C. Our round one opponents are good Celtic chums, the Welsh, which is pretty good. So we have Stephen and Gary. Stephen, team captain for Wales. Gary, team captain for Ireland. And as you can hopefully see here, if you put in the beta, you will see along the top, you will see Team A and Team B. Both captains are in a private room. They have 7 factions, 7 lists, and 7 players. They have 2 substitutes. For Team Ireland, I am one of the substitutes because I will be streaming a lot of these games. But having to practice with 7 kind of makes it much more interesting in case somebody cannot, for one reason or another, actually do anything. So I'm glad to see that Ireland are on the left-hand side because, as you can see on the screen, that is the Irish team logo with a lovely X-Wing and 2 TIE fighters, and the Welsh are on the right with their lists. So I assume that the 7 will go out just as Gary has put them out. Just go in game. So yeah, there's all 7 in there, and those are the decks. So these 2 captains should make hidden things, hidden areas on this side of the screen and that side of the screen, so they can do their pairings in secret. And if you're not too sure what's going to happen, I'll give you a brief overview of what does happen. Each team will pick one of these 7 factions, so Rebel, Separatists, Scum and Villainy, and they will put it into the attack over here. Stephen will do exactly the same thing. And he will put out 1 in the attack. And then both players face down. So you won't get to see these amazing things. They're all, Rebel Alliance and all that sort of stuff. But it's also an Arabesh at the bottom, which I think is a very neat little trick indeed. They'll both go face down in there, and these cards will then be flipped over. These 2 teams do not fight each other. What you then do is you put out a card here and a card here for the Irish team, a card here and a card here for to take on this team, and 2 of these to take on this team. You then pull the cards back, decide who it is, and then the cards will all go out, and that is your first 2 pairings. The remaining cards left on the table are then put back into this hidden zone. I assume that Stephen will make a hidden zone in or around here or on his mat or whatever, so that they are all good. And you see that it's not a snip thing, so if you lift that, they will actually snap back into place. Okay, except that now we all know what they all are. I'd be much happier if the hidden zone was put up here instead of them being there, because that is actually where the pairings will go. So if you can see my little thing here as we're going across along the top, we shall just have to see. So I don't really think they should be there, because we sort of know now exactly where they were, which isn't very good at all. Hopefully Gary will go, right, here's how you make your box. You go up into the left-hand corner and organize things, which is pretty easy to do, and just make a rectangle. And then lift all your cards, put them in there, just like Gary has done to cover his 7. So this is going to be an amazing tournament. We have 38 teams, as I said before, 3 groups of 8, 2 groups of 7. Top 2 teams will go through. It was done by seeds, a bit like in the FIFA World Cup draw. Lots of balls out of bags into baskets. It was great. It was just really well done. And I think they're going to go for this, but that's, this is where I think Gary's explaining what's going on to the Welsh captain, because this bit at the top where it says Team A and Team B just above the blue box on the left hand side of your screen, it will be Team Ireland as Team A and Team B as Wales. So then you get the actual pairings and they will be put up there, but that is not going to happen doing it that way. So a quick word to the boss. So yeah, that there we go. But even that's a bit too big, chum. He's getting it. He's getting it. Here we go. That's much too small. Needs to be enough for the 7. So apologies. Teething problems at the start. That could actually work enough. To be fair, that would be big enough. You can do it over this side as well. It's where the cards would go. That's probably where I would have put them. I'd have put them in the orange and the purple bits. But what do I know? What do I know? Gary frantically moving his hand about there quite fantastically. So that's it. And then turn them around, make them vertical, not horizontal. Unlucky. That'll do you. Now you're getting there, chum. Now you're getting there. Now spin them all around so you can see them, and then put a box over all of those. Put a box over all of that. I hope the Welsh genuinely appreciate the fact that I haven't taken the mickey yet that he can't put a box over 7 cards. But he's going to get there. I have total faith in a team captain. Total faith. This is no worry at all. We're getting there. We are getting there. Off you go. Go on, chum. I'll pull that big box all over. He's not going to be able to do it with his hand like that, though. Oh dear. Back into the box. Left hand side of the screen. Well, in the meantime, we can sit and discuss what the XTC is. So last year, it was won by Spain, I believe, last year. Germany are apparently favourites, but they've expanded it. There's an awful lot more teams. So, like Ireland and Wales, we all got put into like country things. So the top 10 seeds got put into one box, and then the next 5 got put into another, and then there's like an Oceania one, 2 Europeans, an Americas, South American, and like an Australasian Oceanic viewpoint, which is pretty good. I have no idea why there is still no box there. Which is he back? He's back. So he has came into the room. So maybe that was what the issue was. I did not notice that he had left. So quick disconnect, and he's going to try and get in here on the world's slowest laptop, possibly. But we'll get there. We'll get there. There's a lot of extra stuff for the computer to figure out. Gary being the host. It's got a very good stable internet connection. So 95%, not long to go before we should see a nice orange kind of box around the Welsh pairing cards. So as you saw earlier, if you joined us earlier, welcome. This is the Tauntaun Squadron YouTube channel, and we are doing the pairings for round 1 of Group C in the XTC 2021 Star Wars X-Wing game tournament, which will be running over weeks and weeks and weeks. The top 2 teams out of the 5 divisions go through, they make the cut, and then they do a massive round robin thing to decide who has got the best team players in the world. Now, he's doing that secret thing of being able to put an eyeball over the top of it to see what the cards actually are. Now, we did see a couple of yellow boxes when he was player yellow. It didn't really matter what color he was, but that's what it is. But we're going for the colors, so that's why we've got the orangey red and the bluey purpley Team A and Team B at the top of the screen. So we may just have it like this. We may just have it like this. So all 7 teams will be paired. So Rebel, Empire, Scum, Republic, Separatist, First Order, and Resistance will all be in here. I have all the lists on my second screen here with all the player names, what kind of things that they are. The 2 Separatist lists are both Django Zam, I can tell you that much, and Wales have outbid Ireland by 194 to 195, which can make a big, big difference when you're playing that particular mirror match, if it goes to a mirror match. I don't know if it will, because I'm not a mind reader, and I can't, turn this on and fast forward through YouTube just to get to the bit where they actually pair the cards. But I am assuming that this is Stephen's first go at doing the pairing system, and it is quite complicated. So if you look in the center of your screen, you will see 2 attacks in the middle, and then 2 defense. And they both put 1 card out into the attack. They're both face down, then they get flipped. Then we put out 2 cards to defend against that, both face down. The Welsh then put 2 teams face down on defense for that. The cards then go back into the hidden area. They will have a think about what they think is the best matchup for them to have, and I think he's about to make the box. But maybe not. Maybe not. So we are now in. So the Welsh have picked their first squad, which is fantastic. So Gary has now done his. So to follow this correctly, the 2 squads should be flipped over now, because we've got to know who they're fighting against. So the Welsh have actually taken that one back. And he wasn't promoted. He is now promoted. So they have now put in their lists. So they're now locked and done. So please press F, folks. It's a resistance list against the scum list. Okie dokie. This is pretty good. Okay, so while we're doing this, we will go through what they've got. Their scum list is actually really, really interesting. It's Brobots, B and D, but with a whole lot less tricks than normal. So they're both 74 points each. And then they've got 2 Mining Guild Surveyors as TIE Fighters, which is pretty good. I'm telling lies, because I should be really going into the Irish one, to be fair, because the Irish one is Scum and Villainy. Now that is... let me bring up the list for Ireland, because that is going to be... that's going to be incredibly important. So, I have played against Johnny Beattie, who actually has these lists up and going. He's a very, very good player, and it's an amazingly interesting list as well. It's Suvio with Gleb and Proxy Mines, Boba Fett with Fearless, Jamming Beams, Seismic Charges, and Hull Upgrade, and Dengar with Auto Blasters, Greedo, Zam Vessel, and Ion Torpedoes in the Jumpmaster. That costs 199 points. Let me just jump across and see what their resistance list actually is. And their resistance list should be 4 T-70 X-Wings, all with Heroic, 3 with Patent Analyzer, or they've all got it, all with their S-foils, and 3 with thread tracers. So he's now deciding, what do I want to throw into the resistance? They've bought these out. So we now know that in defense, Wales have put these 2 bottom cards out. They will go into this, and they will then decide who they want to go into. So for Team Ireland, they've put out Empire and the aforementioned Scum and Villainy. That's the Brobots with 2 mining guilds. The Empire list, I believe, is a Sabre Squadron. Just let me bring this out. It's not. It's actually Commander Goran in the TIE Interceptor with shield upgrade. And then 4 black Squadron Scout Strikers, all with disciplined and all with thermal detonators. So disciplined across the board, that's a 200-point list. Go back to this. And these cards will then go in here. So he's then going to decide what is the best thing to do. Against resistance, we have put up Galactic Empire, and we have also put up our version of Django Zam. So the Republic list for Team Ireland is quite interesting. It's Wolf with Wolfpack, Obi-Wan with Marksmanship, Critbot and Autoblasters, Ashoka Tano with Chopper and Calibrated Targeting, and Goji, Iron Bombs, Delayed Fuses, and Ion Cannons. So because he hasn't made himself a little thing here, we're not too sure what we're going to go into. I assume that these people are now doing what I'm doing and going on to the squad builder thing. Yet another squad builder where all of this are with all the upgrades and what players that they are. So at the minute for Team Ireland, we have Jonathan Beatty's pretty excellent and quite unique. Was being spoken about on the X-Wing SSG stream from Germany because it is kind of fiery. I do kind of like it. It's pretty good. So let's see who Gary went for. He's went for both the Scum. So Team A and Team B. Yep, there we go. So the Resistance are flying into Zamjo, and the 2 Scum and Villainies are 1-2-1. So Ireland, quite unbelievably, went into Team B. Then all the cards then go back, and then you completely repeat the process. You can try and make sure that you don't know that the Empire one's the middle one, but it's the middle one, which is the process of not having your hidden thing in between. So you do exactly the same thing. Both captains will then put out 1 team each into their attack boxes, 2 things in defense. He's just checking that that is the next one he wants to put out. And Gary is now deciding which one he has put out. So both teams have now selected their own. This is what you're fighting against. Show me what you've got. And I'm quite impressed that Gary Beatty was put out first because he has actually been practicing a lot with his list. A lot of things going on in it. That'll be a really good match, the Scum versus Scum. 4070s versus Django Zam will also probably be a very good matchup indeed. So if you boys then flick over those attack cards, please. And see who we've got for the third pairing. Yeah, flip them over. Okay, so Galactic Republic for Team Wales. Okie dokie. So the Galactic Republic will be Obi-Wan, CLT, Plo Koon, Chopper, CLT, Alat with Thread Tracers, and Goji with Ion Turret, Concussion Bombs, and Delayed Fuses. And for Team Ireland, we have got the ever lovely Galactic Empire. And for Team Ireland, facing, let me see who this Galactic Republic person is for Wales. To give him a little shout out. The Galactic Republic for Wales is Toby Harris, which is pretty good. He is up against one of the best players in Ireland, in my opinion, which is Nick Harris. Nick will be flying bombers, all with ion torpedoes, skill bombardier, and proximity mines. There's a couple with concussion missiles, one with diamond boron, but they've all got proximity things. It's a very hard list to get through that amount of hull to get through stuff. So no sort of choices to kind of figure out what we've got. So we'll tell you the players who have been picked then. I think that would be quite good. So for Team Wales have used Dan Barringer. He is the guy taking the robots. And Gareth Nottingham is the resistance player for Wales. And for Team Ireland, we have Gary Beattie for number 1. And the separatist list will be run by Gary Colton. So let's just see who Nick ends up fighting against. Wales taking their time, but not quite as much time as Gary is. But here comes the Irish response. 2 cards put down and set. And then we will flip all these over. So, okay. Possible Republic, or Resistance. Rebel for these cards. And that looks awfully like Empire. So, we have got the Galactic Republic and we have the Rebel Alliance. Rebel Alliance is done by Chris Jr. And that is the Hera Passes All the Tokens, YouTube, Kyle Katarn, Garvin Dreas list. That would probably go quite well into that the Galactic Republic list. I think that's probably not what they're going to want to fly against, to be honest. But they've decided to go for. Let me have a little look and see. Let me have a little look. Okay, so those are those cards. Alrighty, into that. That is not right. So let's see who Wales decide to pick in this contest. Yeah, the Welsh cards should be back on the other side. That's it. So he will decide the 2 cards you can see just in front of the orange hand will be to go into that list. He has chosen 1. This one should then go back in there, which it does. So these will go back into hand again. There we go. We're going to flip these over. So Chris Jr. gets to play against the Galactic Republic. So again, that's a pretty good game indeed. And then the Rebel Alliance. Let me see what the Rebel Alliance list is from Team Wales. And that is Wedge Antilles with proton torpedoes. And 2 E-Wings, also with proton torpedoes. Fire control system. And they've went for the R4 Astromech, which I'm not so sure is the best droid to kind of put out on the roads. I think I'd have much rather had the R3 to have 2 ships done. But, you know, that is what they've went for. And far be it from any streamer to say that they've done it wrong. You've done it wrong. Should have been R3s. But that's only my opinion. And it matters not a jot in the world. So, last thing where they all get done. But it's slightly different. So they will start again. They have a bigger choice this time. Both team captains will put one deck into the attack box as done previously. The other two are then put onto the defense side. But the difference between the first two rounds to get our first 4 pairings is that this is now much harder, because you're not only choosing which team to defend against the attack card that's put out, but when you know that, you're also leaving your last list to get paired into the last list from the opposition captain. So this one should probably take a little bit longer as you're trying to decide what is left. So at the minute, we can tell that there's well, let's have a little look. There's a separatist one left for Wales. There is the Republic one for Wales, and the final faction. So then we've got for Ireland, we have got already Scum, Separatists, Rebel Alliance, and Galactic Empire. So that leaves us with Republic, Resistance, and our final last one, which would be, okay, Scum's already out there, so that's us done. So Gary has already put out all of his. He is completely confident in what we're going to go for. Because once you've decided who the attacker is going to be, the 2 attackers get turned over first. So they will decide. So the resistance list, and this is a brilliant list. This is Rich Polly's Benny list with CZ and an X-wing. And let me just figure out which the X-wing is, because this is a fantastic list by Rich Polly. So it's Juff Sea Striker. He's got the M9 G8 and Heroic. ZZ with Heroic cluster missiles and advanced sensors. And Venny just off the board. Huge. Just absolutely huge. Let me have a look at the Welsh Empire list. The Welsh Empire list is the Goran Black Scout one, which got put away in the last one. So we're left with a few more here to go through. Nobody really doing anything with the First Order just yet. So we should probably see what happens then. And the Welsh guy has literally picked exactly what he wants. It's just completely done. Like no qualms. Both captains very, very quick about what they want to do. Just checking that he's put the right cards over the right thing. Turn the cards over, gentlemen. So the Separatists are fighting the Resistance. The First Order are fighting the Galactic Empire. So that is pretty good. We now know the first 6, which only leaves the final 2 pairings, which will then be flipped over by both captains, and it will be First Order into the Galactic Republic. So that is Team Ireland's draw against Wales in the XTC 2021 Championships, Round 1 in Group C. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Sith Holocron. I will be with you all week as I try my very best to try and get as many things streamed as possible. There are some fantastic matchups in here. Some really, really good players on both sides. Just to go through it, Wales have got Scum and Villainy against Scum and Villainy. Wales have got Resistance versus Separatist Alliance. Ireland have Rebel Alliance against the Galactic Republic. The Empire versus the Rebel Alliance for a bit of stone cold solid classicness. Wales put forward the Empire and are into Ireland's First Order. Ireland has their resistant list into the Separatists. And the final one will be Wales's First Order against the Galactic Republic of Ireland. The games will then be set up over this week to try and get all 7 done before Sunday. The very, very best of luck to both countries, and may the best Celts win. Until then, thank you so much for watching the Tauntaun Squadron. If you haven't already, we will be doing this live for the next 7 weeks. Subscribe to our channel. It'll hit your inbox, and we'll let you know who is playing what every single week. You don't even have to do anything. All you really have to do is hit the YouTube button and come and watch some of the very best Star Wars players in the world battle out for the X-Wing Team Championships of 2021. Good luck to both players and everybody in the entire event. Until then, thanks very much for watching. Utini!